Hey, good evening. This is our first late night gouge session. I'm excited to be hosting this. So in 2019, we're not going to host our monthly Lioness Link Up events. So one of the ways that we want to stay connected to the women veteran community is to really start using social media as a way of connecting to women veterans. We're going to be using sessions like this. One, we're primarily using the Convos app for just about everything. That is for quick questions that you have, for suggestions on topics, for reaching out and asking us questions about anything related to the veteran community. We're asking people to use the Convos app to do that. But every couple weeks, we will host some of these late night gouge sessions where we'll talk about programs and services that are being offered or that are underutilized by veterans, so that hopefully the more people learn about them, the more they will start to use them. So tonight I'm going to go over referrals. Referrals are really important. Referrals are what we use in our organization, and even though we've had a formalized referral process since we got started, for like the first year or so, if someone will call or women veterans will call and they'd ask for help, we give them information or resources or people that they could contact. And what we're finding out was that we weren't getting a lot of feedback. So about a year ago, we really formalized our referral process, and we have a formal application that we ask women veterans to fill out, and stating what their needs are, and then we go through our list of resources, and we'll give them some recommendations. And the reason we formalized that plan was because, one, we weren't initially getting a lot of feedback, and we need that feedback to know whether or not the programs and the resources that we are referring are actually helping out our veterans. But two, it allows us to keep track of how many people we assist, and three, it helps us determine which programs and services are actually out there assisting veterans, or which ones we can remove from our list. Because if we get a lot of feedback from women veterans saying that the resources aren't helping them, or they're constantly being told that the programs don't have money, then it's a program that we can take off of our list and maybe not refer out as much. So the tips that I'm going to give you, though, are not just for how to help with the resources that we're giving you. They're really a good guideline to use for if you're contacting any agency, whether it's a referral that you've gotten from us or from another organization, or just in your own personal life. If you ever have to follow up with something that's either business related or house related, you kind of have a good plan in place for how you can track and follow things. So let's get straight to our steps just to save on time. Forget, if you have not already, get signed up for the Convos app. And once you get into Convos, you're going to hit the little magnifying glass at the bottom, and you're going to type in ZaharaVets. Once you start typing Zahara, Zahara will automatically pop up. That's the page for Zahara. And if you have any type of questions or questions that you have during this session, you can come on to Convos after this and contact us on there. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into our topic, which is the steps to the referral. So when you contact our office, or you go to our website, the new website will have the network referral application online, so that you'll be able to fill it out online. Right now, if you email us, we email you back a form that's like this. It has 4 pages to it, and this is the application form. And this is a form that asks you what your situation is, what it is you're seeking information for. So I point that out because this section here is really for that. Obviously, sometimes you need more than just that little section to tell us about what's going on. I always recommend you give us as much information as possible. That way, when we go through our list of referrals, we can choose the best source, the best one we think that's going to be able to help you. And I say that because we've gotten back these forms, and it will say something as short as, well, I need rent. That's wonderful. Just about everybody needs rent or mortgage payment or something of that nature. How you got into that situation, or what led you there, needs to be on the form, so that as we send you out to other agencies, if they contact us back to confirm or get more information from us, we'll have that information on your referral form. You just need rent. isn't a viable reason, or a lot of programs don't just give rent because you need it. There really needs to be a situation or something that caused you to be in a position to need rent. So when you fill out the network referral application for us, it's 4 pages. It also has the final page has a statement of honesty as well as a stolen valor act of understanding. So we do ask that veterans fill that out. We have had veterans go through the application, fill it out, complete it, and say that they weren't receiving resources from other people for the things they were requesting help for from us, and come to find out they were. So we do ask you to be honest. Make sure you read through the application, understand what it is that you're reading and signing. So if you ever have any questions, always contact the office and we'll be glad to walk you through that process. So when you fill that form out and get it into us, we send you back our response, and it will be on something that looks like this. This one's blank. It doesn't have a name on it, but we're using it as an example for you tonight. And what we'll typically do is give you 2 to 3 local agencies that can help you, and 2 to 3 national agencies that can help with the situation that you're telling us about. So with that being said, once you start contacting the agencies, we also have the last part of this form is a follow-up form. So you have about 4 to 5 of them that's on the form, and it asks you questions very simply about who you spoke to throughout the process, and that helps us. So if you do get a denial, if you're told that you don't qualify for the program, we know who it is that you spoke to, so that if we're following up with that agency and asking them why maybe you were denied, we'll have something to go off of. So first, when you get back that form from us, or when you get a referral to a social service agency, the first thing you can do is to, 1, go to the agency's website, the agency that's on the referral form. So when you go to the website, you're going to take a look at, what they do, what programs they offer, and determine which program it is that you think can best assist your need. You're also going to look for a list of documents that will be needed in order for you to complete that request. They typically have out on their website whether or not you're going to need a DD-214, if you need a driver's license, if you need a rental agreement, if you need whatever the situation is, medical bill. They will typically have a list of documents that you need in order to complete your request. You want to make sure you get all those documents together before you start completing the application. Next, if it is a local agency, someplace that you can drive to, someplace that's in your area, then go ahead and see if you can print off a copy of the application that they have on their website, and you want to fill that out before you even go into the agency. That way you have an idea of what they're looking for. You'll have the documents that they need. If it is an online only tool, so if it's a national organization, it's not someplace you can drive to, then you're going to look over the paperwork in totality before you fill it out. That way you don't start halfway filling it out and then have to close it out or save it and then go back to it. Try and look over the form before you begin filling it out. That way anything that you need to complete the form, you'll be able to get it into your hands beforehand. So that's the first step. Always go to the agency's website, the one that you've been referred to. Take a look at the program, which program you want to apply for, and then find out what documents you need. Fill out the documents in advance beforehand. Now, the next step. If it is a local agency, go ahead and call that agency and try and set up an appointment. If they don't take appointments, if they only say that they do walk-ins, or you have to be physically there in order to get assigned an intake worker or a case manager, then go ahead and attend their walk-in hours. When you call them, you do want to ask them and confirm what documents you need so that you take everything you need with you when you go to that appointment. So if it is a national organization, go ahead and submit the paperwork online. Once you've submitted the paperwork online, you're going to pick up the phone and call the agency to verify receipt of your paperwork. Now, if they say, oh, we don't see it over here yet, then that's fine. Wait about 24 hours and then give them a phone call back. But today, a lot of agencies can see instantaneously or within a few moments when you have completed an online form. And so the reason you're calling is to see what are the steps. Will your case be assigned to someone? If it's assigned automatically when you fill out the form, what's the name, telephone number, and email address of the person that your form has been sent to. So again, this is if you are submitting it online, if it's a national agency or someplace that you can't drive to. So the next step, after you've submitted all of your documentation, whether you went into the local office and submitted it, or if you submitted it online, you want to be sure that you submit all your documents and require verification at one time. So if that's your DD-214, maybe it's something related to something with your child's school that you're requesting help with. Have all those documents submitted either at the time that you're doing the application or as quickly or soon after as you can once you've submitted the application. The next step is as you're working with either a case manager or an intake worker or whoever at the office, at that company's office, is assigned to assist you, you're going to ask them how long does the decision process take and when you can expect a response. And that way you are not just sitting around, waiting for a reply. You will have an idea as to how long it will take for someone to get back to you. A lot of times, women veterans or people just won't feel comfortable asking the hard questions. So you have to get comfortable with asking the difficult questions, because at the end of the day, the assistance is to help you. If you're a woman veteran, you should be a woman veteran, or you're a veteran if you're working with us, then you already kind of know the process of how to follow up on things. You've gone through boards, you know how to complete documents and forms. These aren't things that you need to be retrained or need to relearn how to do. You're a veteran. And so we can bypass some of the things that civilians have to go through when they're submitting forms. We can assume that veterans are capable and competent with knowing how to submit forms. Now, what we don't do here as the Zahara Veterans Network, I'm not going to spend 5 hours on the phone advocating for you. That's not what we do. If we do that, then I haven't empowered you to be able to assist yourself. I basically created a dependent. And if I do that for you once, it'll be a few months down the road, you'll be right back needing the same form of assistance. So we do not do that. However, if you do need letters of support sent out to, if it's like a rent request and you need at least a letter to your landlord, we can definitely send some letters of support saying, yes, they're working with us. We've given them some agencies. We're waiting to see if they can be assisted with their rent or their mortgage payment, or if it's a utility bill, we can definitely contact the company for you and see if we can work something out. We don't have any problem helping support your request, but we're not the agency that is granting the request. We're an agency that basically is connecting you to resources that you may not know exist out there for your need. So yes, there are times when we are able to assist. Unfortunately, we're not in that boat right now. For 2019, our focus is on getting our housing established, because that is our biggest unmet need. And there are a lot of programs and services out there that do all the other things. So we try and get the resources that are out there to actually work for the veteran, because that's what many of them say that they do. And that's why we started this process, formalizing this process, so that we can track and keep tabs on who actually is doing it. So once you've submitted all of your documentation and you've gotten the information about the decision process, you know how long it takes, you should be getting either an approval notification or denial. So if you are approved and they are going to assist your situation, you want to find out what all the requirements are for receiving the funds. And with that, are there any additional classes that you need to complete in order to be in compliance with receiving the forms? Are there any type of letters that you have to write? Some people require that you write out thank you letters to their donors, depending on whether it's a private fund or a federal fund or things of that nature. Also, complete any of the follow-up forms that the company needs you to complete, and don't forget to say thank you. Thank yous today still go a long way. A lot of times social service agencies assist people, and while they don't necessarily need thank yous, it is nice to say thank you. And also, because you never know when you have to cross that bridge again, you need to really know how to form a relationship with that company. So if you are approved and they're going to complete the request for you, be sure you do all of the steps that are required to complete and wrap up the situation with that organization. So typically, most organizations do require that the funds be sent directly to the organization. If they send the funds to the organization but still need you to complete a follow-up form, then please fill out that form. If you get denied, make sure you find out why you're being denied. Be sure that that denial comes to you in writing. And then if you are denied, you want to find out, is there an appeal process? If you think you have qualified for the program, you're not sure why you were denied, make sure that denial, you get that in writing, and it should state on there why you're being denied, what parameters of their program did you fail to meet, or what is their reason for not assisting you with that fund. So this is important for a number of reasons. But number one, I always tell people, do not take no from people who are not authorized to give you a yes. So if you complete the form with the person that answered the phone, you turned the form into the person that answered the phone, the person that answered the phone told you no, 9 out of 10 times the person on the phone is not the person that can give you a yes or a no. So you need to find out where the no was coming from and what prevented you from qualifying. That's my timer. I'm almost done with this. Two, you want to find out if they can give you a referral to another agency. If they're not able to assist you, they may know of another resource or agency out there that can assist you. And then finally, what I want to say to the denials is a lot of times when we get a no, we'll just stop. I want to encourage you, don't just stop at the no, because sometimes unfortunately there are fraudulent agencies out there, and they may have told you no, we don't qualify for the funds, or they can't give you the funds. But somewhere down the road, they're turning your information that you used to complete their application into an agency saying that you were awarded X number of benefits. And you want to prevent that by making sure you get that denial letter in writing. So I can't stress that enough. So basically, that's the process of how to follow up on referrals, but that is basically how to work a referral. Referrals are an important part of all social service agencies. No matter what company or organization it is you're going to for help, most people will require you to know how to complete applications and submit forms and documentation that's needed to verify it. And so these are kind of some of the tips and steps to help you be successful.